Veralyn Media.
All about perspectives.
Veralyn Media.
All about perspectives.
With my mom, she's now like bringing in like marriage, and I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, am I gonna date? Like, it's always been, you know, school, and then like, yeah.
That's one of the things I kind of want to explore. Just that whole, especially for girls, that you're not supposed to date, leave boys alone the whole time you're growing up,
right?
And then all of a sudden it's supposed to be, all right, so where's the husband?
Right, exactly. Like, where does he come from? Like, you just, I don't know, pops out of nowhere, and like, what is this whole? I don't know. Like, I mean, back home, and stuff, when I say, well, it's weird to say back home, but if I say back home, I'm referring to Senegal, I guess. I guess it's not necessary, like, in these times, people are very modernized. People date. I mean, my cousins are dating more than I'm dating, for sure. They can tell me more about relationships than I would ever know. But to my parents, I think they still refer back to those times when they grew up, because that's the memories that they hold. And for them, it was okay not to date. It was like, I mean, it's a Muslim, it's a predominantly Muslim culture, so there are arranged marriages. I think a lot of it, though, is not necessarily what she is thinking. It's not necessarily, maybe it's what she wants from me, but my mom, I've noticed, is like very, like, she is very eyeful on what other
people within the culture
are saying about her. So it's like, she has this saying that in our culture, whatever happens to the children, to the kids, it's always the mother's fault. And so she's like, well, I don't have to necessarily agree. I think some of the things that she tells us is not something that she necessarily agrees with, but she just has to as her duty. And she's like, I have to tell you. I'm like, no. I'm going to try to stray away from that as much as possible. Maybe some person will be worth it and change it for me, and that will be it. That moment will be the defining moment, but I don't know.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my next questions, which is like, well, maybe it's just that we haven't found the person that we would get married to.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And I'm not denying that. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying I don't need to do it because everyone is telling me this is when it should happen, because I'm now 24 and, you know, like,
tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. Like, really, the clock is ticking for my other goals too. Like, life is like short and it's beautiful, and there are a lot of other things.